Until now, we've learned what the ESP32 is, how the board is built, how its GPIOs work, and how it communicates with other devices. Now it's time to actually program it. In this lesson, we'll set up everything you need to write and upload your first ESP32 program. By the end, your computer will be communicating with your ESP32, you'll upload your own code, and you'll make an LED blink for the first time. Let's get started. First, open your web browser and search for Arduino IDE. Open the official Arduino website. You'll find the Arduino IDE download page, with versions available for different operating systems. At the time of recording, Arduino IDE 2.3.10 is the latest version. You can also download the legacy Arduino IDE 1.8.19, which is available for different operating systems. However, we will download the latest version. Since we're using Windows, select the Windows version and click Download. The download will start. Once the download is complete, open the installer. Follow the installation steps and allow the installer to install Arduino IDE on your computer. When the installation is finished, launch Arduino IDE. Now we need to add ESP32 support. Open Arduino IDE and go to Preferences. Here you'll find a field called Additional Boards Manager URLs. This is where we tell Arduino IDE where to find the ESP32 board package. Add the official Espressif ESP32 package URL, then click OK. Now, open the Boards Manager. Search for ESP32. You'll see the ESP32 package provided by Espressif Systems. Select it and click Install. You can select any available version. For this tutorial, we will install the older, stable version 2.0.10. The IDE will download the required files and tools. Depending on your internet connection, this may take a little while. Once the installation is complete, ESP32 boards will be available in Arduino IDE. You can also update the ESP32 package later if needed. Now, let's connect our board. Take your ESP32 development board and connect it to your computer using a USB data cable. Remember, not every USB cable supports data transfer. If your board powers on but the computer doesn't detect it, try another known good data cable. Once connected, the power LED on the board should turn on. Now we need to make sure the computer can communicate with the board. Open the port selection in Arduino IDE and look for the serial port that appeared when you connected the ESP32. On Windows, it will normally appear as a COM port. If you don't see a new port, the USB to UART driver may not be installed. The exact driver depends on the USB to UART chip used by your board, such as the CP2102, CH340, or CH9102. First, check which chip your board uses. You can usually find the chip printed on the development board near the USB connector. Here we can see that this board uses a CP2102. You can also identify the chip through Device Manager on your PC. Open Device Manager in Windows and look for a new device. Here you can see CP2102 USB to UART bridge controller. To find the correct driver, open your web browser and search for CP2102 USB to UART bridge controller driver. Visit the official Silicon Labs website and go to the Downloads section. Download the CP210X Universal Windows driver. Once the download is complete, unzip the file. Now open Device Manager again. Right-click on the CP2102 device and select Update Driver. Choose Browse My Computer for drivers. Browse to the folder where you extracted the driver files and click OK. Then click Next. The driver should be installed within a few seconds. After installing the driver, disconnect and reconnect the ESP32. Then check the port selection in Arduino IDE again. Once the board appears, select that port. Now we need to tell Arduino IDE which ESP32 board we're using. Open the board selection menu and choose the appropriate ESP32 board. If you're using the common original ESP32 development board, select ESP32 Dev module. If you're using another ESP32 family, such as the ESP32S3, ESP32C3, or ESP32C6, select the appropriate board for that chip. Now our development environment is ready. Let's create our first program. Open a new sketch. You'll see two functions already created for us, setup and loop. For now, remember just one thing. The code inside setup runs once when the ESP32 starts. The code inside loop runs repeatedly. That's all we need to know for our first program. Now let's make the ESP32 control an LED. If your development board has a built-in programmable LED, we can use that. The LED is connected internally to a GPIO pin. But remember, the built-in LED pin isn't standardized across every ESP32 development board, so use the GPIO number specified in your board's documentation. The board I currently have doesn't have a built-in LED, so we'll connect an external LED to a GPIO pin. For this lesson, we'll use GPIO 4. Place the ESP32 on a breadboard for easy connections. Connect GPIO 4 to the LED's positive terminal through a resistor, and connect GND to the negative terminal of the LED. Now let's control the LED with our program. First, we need to configure the LED's GPIO as an output. Inside Setup, we'll use Pin Mode and tell the ESP32 that GPIO 4 will be used as an output. Now let's turn the LED on. Inside Loop, we'll use Digital Write and set GPIO 4 to high. Upload the program. Compiling and uploading will take a little while. Once the upload is complete, the LED should turn on. That's it. We've just used software to change the electrical state of a physical GPIO pin. Now let's turn it off. Change high to low in Digital Write and upload the program again. The LED should now turn off. After uploading the code, it's turned off. So what did we actually do? Pin Mode tells the ESP32 how we're going to use the GPIO. Digital Write changes the output state of that GPIO. High means the output is driven high, and low means the output is driven low. Now let's make the LED turn on and off automatically. Instead of leaving it permanently on or off, we'll add a delay between the two states. First, turn the LED on, then wait for 1 second. Write delay 1000. That's 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. Then turn the LED off. Use Digital Write to set GPIO 4 to low. Then wait for another second. Again, use delay 1000. Because this code is inside loop, the ESP32 will repeat these steps continuously. Upload the program, and now the LED starts blinking. You've just created your first real ESP32 behavior, the LED blinking project. We can change the delay time, change 1000 to 500, and upload again. See, now blinking speed is faster than before. The important thing isn't the blinking itself. You've learned the basic pattern you'll use again and again throughout this course. Configure a GPIO, set its output state, control it with your program. And there it is. Your first ESP32 program is running. The LED is being controlled entirely by your code. If your LED isn't blinking, don't worry. First, check that you've selected the correct board and port. If you're using a built-in LED, also check the GPIO number specified by your board's documentation. If the upload itself fails, check the USB cable, driver, board selection, and serial port. If necessary, hold the boot button while starting the upload. Once everything is working, you've completed the most important step. You've successfully created and uploaded your first ESP32 firmware. In the next lesson, we'll move beyond a simple output. We'll connect a button to the ESP32, read an input, and use that input to control an output. If you found this video helpful, like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video.